our commercial break. And Jack wants to tell us something about the first time he was hit.
Well, we had a Major O'Malley who should have been a Medal of Honor winner that I have. They have a ceremony for him every year in a French town in the Normandy area. Saint Denis is where they have it, and they have a monument in his memory there.
And his name is
Major O'Malley.
Major O'Malley.
Yeah, Francis O'Malley, and they have a ceremony every year which I speak, and I was with him when he got killed. But we had Rogers and I. Somebody said to Rogers, pick somebody, find Major O'Malley, we had an important message for him. So Rogers says, Port, of course, being, he said, pick somebody else. He said, Port, you're it, with me. So we were going, and we can remember, and we ran across a couple soldiers that were in a ditch. And I thought they were dead, and they were sleeping. And we said, what? Then those guys said, how'd you guys get up here? He said, well, we told them how we came up there to find out these guys had been cut off. So we found Major O'Malley, gave him the message, we headed back, and I went through a hedgerow, an opening in the hedgerow, and there was a sniper up there that got about 5-6 shots off at me, and they all went through my leg, and I got hit in the knee, one was all. But I only went back to a field hospital down the beach. I was only there 2 days, and I went back to my outfit.
So you were shot in the leg. Took 2 days off. Yeah. And you were back fighting again.
You're right. And then
this is Jim Rogers.
That's Rogers there.
That's his buddy. And so you two were in this firefight. You were hit by snipers in a hedgerow.
He was in a tree, the sniper that got me, but the guys all say I got shot in the butt and that I was retreating. The entire war they said I was running the other way, but I was actually hitting the knee. But they kidded me that I was shot in the butt, which is an old story with the gang. So,
and you got the sniper, I assume.
No, I didn't. I was scared. I wanted to get back. I wanted to get out of there.
But I mean,
I had to run back across. Jim came back across the opening, and they didn't fire at him. And I was scared. He said, come on, Port. And I was scared to go through there. I just had a guy get off 5-6 shots to me. And finally, I did decide to run, and he did. I don't know what happened to Sniper. We didn't fire back at him. We just wanted to get the hell out of there. And then the other time was in Pierre. I had a piece of shrapnel that went through my messenger and back. I was going zing, 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 zing. It hit my backpack. And he said, Port, you're on fire. You know, like I was supposed to. And at that Pierre's there, I hit the ground. And they teach you to hit the ground with your rifle like this because when we landed on the beach, I threw my rifle, landed in the sand. And they tell you never, when you hit the ground with a rifle, you always hit on your elbows like that. And there I go again.
Well, it'll come back to you.
It'll come back to me.
But what about O'Malley? So you said he.
Well, no, we got the message to him, but we were on our way back to our company.
And O'Malley then was killed later.
Just about a week, 10 days after that, he was killed.
What was in the message? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
It was sealed.
No, it was. Rogers had a piece of paper there that I don't think was in code or anything like that. But I really don't know. We were just buck-ass privates.
Sure. And O'Malley was a battalion commander or
a battalion commander. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was a pretty important message. I mean.
Well, yeah, it had to be an important message, but I don't have any idea what it was. We're scared.
Anyway, we won the war. So.
And the other one there at Pierre's was with my rifle, but a piece of shrapnel went right through the wood on it, and I didn't get scratched at all on that.
Wow.
So. And then once in the Hurtgen Forest, I was smoking a cigarette on the edge of a hole, and Roger said, Port, you better get in this hole here. Then we were under fire and everything. But I got in the hole, just right after I got in the hole, something hit right where I was sitting and dug a hole about that deep. I don't know what kind of shell it was or anything. I really don't.
But it was.
I had a lot of close calls.
It never exploded, or it was just a piece of scrap?
Oh no, it exploded on the end, but I don't know what it was. And then also I want to tell you about the Screaming Mimi, which is the
88 or
No, it's a psychological weapon that they used a lot in the Normandy area. And then what they did is when they'd hit the ground, and you'd hit the ground when you hear them coming to, but they have very little shrapnel, but it's a psychological thing which it really shakes you off, it bounces you up and down off the ground. It's a concussion weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They called them screaming Mimis. I don't know what the Germans called them, but they were scary. And getting back to the Hurtgen Forest, where I've never been away. That leads to one of your questions here about the Hurtgen Forest. I think it's about 50 square miles. Why they just didn't send the troops around and cut off all those guys?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And no, we're no statisticians.
Sure.
No, we couldn't figure out why they just didn't go around and cut that thing off there and take it over. But we were down to about 95 guys out of 200. A lot of that was frostbite. And so they pulled us out, and we went to a shoulder in Luxembourg.
What in Luxembourg?
Luxembourg.
It's a country.
The country, a small country.
Mm-hmm.
And Luxembourg is when we woke up one morning. Now we were going there to get replacements, get freshened up and everything. And
so did they take you in a truck back down? I'm sorry to keep
interrupting you.
We
dealt in truck. We moved in trucks quite a bit.
So they were like deuce and a halves?
You were 2.5 ton trucks, yeah. And now, incidentally, you might add that at that time there were no Negroes or blacks allowed in combat.
Mm-hmm.
We did fight with the 442nd Regiment, which was the Japanese regiment.
You did? You were with the 442nd?
They did it was a wonderful regiment. Boy, I'll tell you, it really was.
I was just writing about them last night.
Yeah. And
But you were talking about the black soldiers.
442nd. In Luxembourg, we woke up. We were in a flank, defensive position, and we woke up in Eupen, EUPN, which was about 30 kilometers to our rear, had been retaken, and we thought, how could that be? We're up here, and here they'd been, and that was the first that we heard of the Battle of the Bulge. And then
so that's how. So you were actually then surrounded in a way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were in Achternacht at the Battle of the Bulge. We were cut off for about 4 days. And I manned a machine gun at that time. I was a rifleman, but I manned a machine gun for about 4 days or 4.5 days. I manned a machine gun.
And this was a 30 caliber?
30 caliber, yeah. Now, those guys used to have to carry the machine gun, the heavy weapons company. Those guys had to carry their weapons too.
Well, I was in a machine gun, in my training. So we used to run with these things, and somebody lucky guy had the tripod, but the other guy, the third guy, had to carry two boxes of ammo, and that was a hard. You had to run 200 yards. You're out of breath by the time you got there.
Then in the Luxembourg, we had a mailman that would bring up the mail about once every couple of weeks. That my folks had a clothing store. Well, it was a low-end operation. And before I left, I'd asked my mom and dad. We were able to wear a pair of brown plain toe Oxfords. Do you know what a Scotch green shoe is by any chance? It's Scotch green. It's a plain brown. They were about $12 wholesale, and they retail like $20. And I asked my folks if they'd order a pair. They really carry anything like that in the store. They'd order me a pair because with my uniform weekends I could use a pair of drag shoes. Now this is already close to 8 months later, or 9 months. He hands a box, and I think it's a box of cookies from home. Now this is in the breakthrough. I opened them up. It's a pair of shoes. So I said to Izzy, I said, you got to take them back. Nothing I can do with them. And so anyway, to make a long story short, when my mother received the shoes, I think I wrote that up in the book.
Yeah.
When I received the shoes, she thought I'd been killed in action. And I guess she just went bananas until she heard from me that I hadn't been killed. So that was one of the things that we still laugh about today, because that kid's mother sat with my mother for about a week while she was mourning, thinking I had been killed, and when she got the shoes back. And then after the war, after Hurtgen Forest, or the breakthrough, we started moving along, and the Germans were all retreating. We liberated Munich without any fighting.
Resistance.
War was moving along. And when the war was ended, we were just outside the Austrian border. So, and from there we went to.
But getting back to, okay, well, can I interrupt you?
Sure.
Or we can go
No,
back?
no, you go ahead.
So you were in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Then, and that's kind of like Luxembourg is between France and Germany and the Netherlands,
Right.
and so it's a little tiny country there. You were in Luxembourg. What this had some significance? Was this part of the
We were on a
Ardennes?
flank. We were. They'd taken us down to be on a flank to protect the divisions that had relieved us. We were on a flank with no resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And Luxembourg's a neat little country. There's 450,000 people when Jim and I were going over there in the country. We were there on a Sunday, and our friend, he was a kind of a he was a historian buff. He'd worked for the 3M company in Luxembourg City, so he spoke pretty good English. And everyone was dressed up and said, "Fred, why is everybody?" He said, "It's election day today, and if you don't vote, you have to appear before the magistrate, and he fines you accordingly depending on what you're." So they're compelled to vote in that country, which I found very interesting. And the second thing I found out, the reason those lands stay in the family so long there, if you own property, you want to leave it to your children, you can leave it to your immediate children with no inheritance tax at all. No taxes at all. But if you leave it to like a friend or it's based on whether it's a cousin or a friend, you pay income tax, but you can leave anything you want to your children with no inheritance tax, which I thought was interesting.
So you learned that while you were fighting.
No, I didn't learn that until after the war.
Oh, okay.
No, that was after the war.
We certainly want to get into that, later, because your after the war experiences were really interesting too. I have a number of questions about that. But okay, so you received a Bronze Star for manning a machine gun in the Ardennes, or the Battle of the Bulge. Okay, yeah. And that and this was for 3 weeks, 3 days. How long was this?
Oh, the Battle of the Bulge was.
No, when you were manning a machine gun. This wasn't your weapon.
Oh no, I manned a machine gun. What happened? We were in this little town village, Consort, and had been hit real heavy, and the Germans had cut us off in Echternach, which is another little town. It's right on the border of Germany. Germany is right across, and there were quite a few guys that were hit, and so we got in a house, and we've been back to that house where I was with. We had a whole area there, and that's where we were in this house. In fact, it was that house there when a dud hit us, and we captured a prisoner who was a young kid, about 15 or 16 years old, and we asked him to go down with one other prisoner and take it across the road. He went down, they picked up that dud, and that thing could have blown up, it never did, but they picked that thing up and carried it across the road.
And you said you asked the German kid, did he know English, or did some of you know German?
Oh no, we had two guys who spoke German. They were Germans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were Germans.
Could you speak any Yiddish?
I can understand German.
You can understand German?
Oh yeah, but I can't speak it.
Uh-huh.
Because my folks spoke that all the time.
I see.
We were the only Jewish family in Esca for years, and we couldn't afford to go to San Diego. My parents weren't religious at all. I know that's one of the questions you asked me here. And one of the reasons that when I went in, another question you asked me when I first heard about the Holocaust, what was going on. My dad couldn't read or write English, but he used to tell about Hitler. He would tell us about Hitler. And so when I went in the Army, they asked for religious preference on your dog tags. So they had Catholic for C, they had P for Protestant, and they had NP for no preference. So I took no preference because I felt if I got captured with the Germans or with the SS troopers or something, they'd maybe kill me or
Sure.
So I put NP on my dog tags, no preference. I didn't want to know. H was for Jewish Hebrew. So
Mm-hmm.
then when the war is over, came home, and I bought my folks out. I went nursery business a little bit, and I bought my folks out. It was a very small store at the time, and I had them in store in Escondido.
Okay, so anyway, we have now another prop, and this is Jack Port's wonderful and beautiful wife, who passed on just a month ago.
September.
Month ago. And her name is?
Her name was Elaine.
Elaine.
But her last name was Eichmann.
Mm-hmm.
And that family came from Germany up to Oklahoma. So can you visualize me being Jewish and her being with the maiden name Eichmann? And we used to fight a lot. So when I got mad at her, I'd give her a Heil Hitler and all that shit. That's what I was saying. We split for a year and a half. We were on a very friendly basis. We went to a Methodist minister, and he said, we had the 5 kids, and it's time for you to get apart for a while. I moved into an apartment, so we were separated for about a year and a half. But what came out in that, with the consultation, with the help we were asking, came out that we cuss a lot in our family, and I could say anything in the world, anything, but when I gave her that Heil Hitler and all that, it hurt her, but and that came out while we were going through sessions with the Methodist minister, and I promised I'd never say it again, and I never did say it again. But when I said that really give her a Heil Hitler.
That was painful.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize it was,
Well, while we're talking about this, when you were fighting the Germans, you knew that they were. Did you know that there were atrocities being committed?
Oh, yes.
So it was no secret.
Oh, no. You mean atrocities by the Germans?
Yeah, against Jews.
Well, we had a few Americans down, these southern guys with atrocities too, with rape and looting, yeah. Now,
Americans
and I might also add that I still contend the Germans put up a hell of a battle, considering they had 2 fronts to contend with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we weren't the only front that they had, but they had the other front too that they had to contend with.
Mm-hmm. So you never really felt angry at the Germans. Did you ever feel angry while you were fighting the Germans, and you felt like you were getting revenge, or?
Personally, I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, personally, I did. You didn't find me out there falling on a grenade or something like that, but no, personally, in fighting, when I felt that way, because I had that feeling, I had a hunch what was going on, even though it was just excuse my French, but a half-ass, like my dad tried to explain to us what was going on, and you know, so.
Yeah, because there was a large contingent in the United States. I wouldn't call it a contingent, but there were a lot of people who were really doubtful that these atrocities were happening, and it was this is what I've read at any rate, and it was news stories about the Holocaust were buried in the the 4th page or something, in a little article, and there was almost an effort to suppress these stories, and it wasn't until did your unit actually go into a concentration camp?
No, but we outside of Munich, we liberated a camp.
So you did
and
liberate
all
a camp.
Coming out, heading. We were on trucks. Mm-hmm. We were mechanized on trucks, and they came out, and all the Germans were with their hands up.
Civilians?
No, soldiers.
Okay.
They were already giving up at that time,
mm-hmm.
and the prisoners were coming out, and you could see them, and we threw them whatever we had. Food. We were getting all the food and all the cigarettes we needed. We kept throwing things, but we kept on moving. But we didn't meet any resistance.
Mm-hmm. So the prisoners were coming out of the concentration camp,
yeah.
And they had these striped
skins.
They were very.
They looked just like pictures. Mm. And with the Germans, we'd yell "Mach schnell, Mach schnell," and we'd get these guys running.
That means move fast.
Yeah. And they'd be running, and they'd stop in the next truck or two. Mach schnell, Mach schnell. And they kept them running. The
That means make it fast, go
yeah,
fast.
hurry up.